Well, how's it going today? Ain't got much I can make videos about right now. Got something I'm going to show here in a minute, but weather's changing. Ain't been doing much as I would think would be interesting for anybody. Just getting some of the stuff picked up out of the yard before the snow comes, which is coming pretty damn fast, I guess. I just saw today we got winter weather advisory alert. Today's Saturday, and it says from Sunday 7 p.m. till Tuesday 7 p.m. we're under winter weather advisory with 5 to 10 inches of snow possible. So it is what it is. So as I've just been picking up some stuff in the yard that I leave laying around before it gets covered up, cleaning up some other stuff, and I need to, what I gotta do here yet, the other tractor's still on the brush hog. I gotta get that unhooked and cleaned up, stuck in somewhere. But I show this, the other day I was spreading manure, cleaning out the barn here. Got most of what I wanted cleaned out. I got most of this lane cleaned out. I wanted to get this area over here cleaned out more, but they're gonna just waste hay anyhow. But I got several loads out, and then the last load I took out, I was letting the apron sweep the spreader off, and the manure that was in this area just wouldn't feed out. As you can see, no paddles there to flip anything out, and you put it in sweep mode and just wedged here and wouldn't fall through. Finally it did, but so I got, well, there's at least 2 paddles missing there, 3 paddles missing there. Oh, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, missing 6 paddles. I lost a couple the other day. I did find one of them, or I lost one the other day, I know of. I found it. I'm not sure if I lost more than one again. I forget how many was on here. Already broke. I think I lost 2 the other day, but I did find one of them. But that's the problem. It's not going to spread this stuff out now. Now the other alleys, which is mostly manure, yeah, I can get rid of that. But it's just going to leave a clumpy trail behind it. It's not going to chop it all up. So I got to figure out something to do with this. I mean, I need to haul manure like once a month. You know, I can get 2 months in here before it gets really bad. You know, just let it build up a manure pack in there. It's not that big of an issue, but it's going to have to be cleaned out over time. So that was 2 days ago, 3 days ago now. And so I've been looking around trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I know what I'm going to end up doing for now, because I don't know when or if I'll be able to find, well, I found several of these, but that's coming. What I'm probably going to end up doing is removing the beater. Then I can load up the spreader, take it over to the other heifer barn, that pile over there, and just run it out on the ground to store it that way. It'd be so nice if I didn't have all this hay in here, then I had plenty of room to stack manure and clean it every day or once a month or whatever, and just stack it in there and worry about it in the spring. But you change your priorities, so your options change. It's more a priority to have a place to store hay than to store manure at this point. And it's not that big of a deal to remove the manure spreader, or remove the beaters. I believe it's only 6 bolts, or 8 bolts. These 4 bolts here, and there should be 4 bolts, same thing here, and the whole gearbox and everything. Well, you can see on this side, it shows better. It's just a slot in there, so I mean, it just drops right out. I can probably have it out. If all the bolts come loose, you can have it out in 10 minutes. I have a feeling I'm going to torch them off, but the problem is finding one. Like I said, it's not like it was years ago. where you got dealers all over the place. Everybody had a junk row, and I haven't contacted some of the dealers yet. I haven't looked out. But anymore, nobody really keeps a junk row for much, and if they do, this is like one of the first things to go. I looked up online. Like I go to Messic's website. You can get in all the part manuals, and it's not that hard to find this part. I mean, like I've told before here, on a New Holland spreader, from here back, every spreader's the same except for the very smallest spreader they make and the very biggest box spreader they make. Every other one, now like I say, this is a 155, a 145, 155, 165, 185. They're all the same. The only difference is the length of the box. And then parts in the frame up there. Now, the series before this, the 514, the 520, and 680, still all the same. The only difference they changed is some different styling in the sidewalls. So there's plenty of spreaders in the, like the 514, 520. This would be comparable to a 520. Were made back from 81 on, and then the 155s are started in the 90s when they updated them. So there's plenty of these spreaders out there to find for parts. It's just a matter of finding one. Now, I did some looking around. I just got on, looked at Googling some stuff, and I found a beater on a pallet at a dealership. It's out in the Midwest. They want $350 for it. But what am I going to get charged in shipping to get it here? But that is an option. Next option is when I looked up the parts, a brand new one, and Messic's has the new ones down there. They have them in stock. I think Messic's has gotten into being more of a regional warehouse too. I think they stock a lot more as a central location. But a brand new beater without these paddles is $1,325. Now when you look up the 155, they show two different beaters, but the same part number. And this beater, as you can see here, there's this plate that comes up to here, and the paddles bolt on. That's one style beater. Then they have another one. Now these paddles are a little bit different shaped. I think they might even be heavier, but they're all one piece welded, so you can't replace the paddle like here. But they have holes like this here, and there's a piece you can buy to bolt on when C's wear down. But it's the same part number, same price. And they say they have both of them down there. It says in stock. So that's an option. But I still got shipping to get it here. Now, I say I would need 4 more paddles for a new beater, or any beater really. And New Holland ones around $60 a piece for these things. A neighbor, I think, had a local welding shop make them. That's minor at this point. But that's an option. So I can get new beaters. But again, $1,300 with the other issues I have with this spreader. You know, how much money do you put in it? But again, I could buy a new one, eventually find another one, and then, you know, this could be parts at some point too. Who knows? So that's what I'm trying to figure out here right now. Whether I try to locate another spreader to use or try to find one parts, that's the problem. All the auctions are pretty much done around here, so chances something's going to show up in an auction somewhere won't happen until spring. So, but that is another option too. They actually have that heavier, or the one solid piece that welds on. You can buy them separate they were 50 some bucks, $60, which again doesn't make no sense why these are so much compared to the other ones. But I could, if I really want to, which I don't think. I'm hoping it's just an optical illusion. all that buildup on it, but it actually looks like that might be bent, which I don't think it is. But how solid is this tube? You know, is it worth buying 4 of them other ones and having somebody weld them on? I can't weld them on. I don't have the skill or the ability to do it. So that's where I'm at on this right now. I'm just waiting to figure out what the hell to do. So right now I can't haul no manure out, but I got to be able to clean the barn. So this will be taken off here probably sometime this week. I'm not going to do it in the snow. It's not a job I need to do right now. I got most of the barn cleaned out. I could probably go a month before I have to worry about cleaning any more out, but like I say, I want to get it cleaned out fairly good before we get much snow. And I wanted to get it spread on the ground, but you work with what you got at times. But like I say, it's a good floor. That's what I need to find. I need to find a spreader or I'd like to find a 155 with a bad floor and junk apron. Because I could use the walls and I can use the beater. The walls don't bother me too much because I talked to a guy at the welding shop about getting a piece of 1/8" plate. And I thought they only came in 8-foot pieces, which 8 foot would put me up somewhere in here, which would work. But I guess they do come in 10-foot sheets. And to have an 1/8" plate, 10-foot long, which when they give me the option, I can trim it down, taper it what I need to fit up there, or maybe run it a little bit further back there. And then all I would have to do is take these bolts out here, drill through these holes, bolt it on, and I think he quoted me, it was less than $200. He figured it would be for 2 sheets, 15 by 10. So that's plan that's figuring on. But like I say, New Holland used to be good equipment. I mean, it's still good equipment, but they've cheapened, like everything else, they cheapened it up. I mean, like I say, these spreaders used to have a lifetime guarantee. I don't even think they got, last I knew they were 7-year, but I don't even think the 7-year rust through guarantee on these sides. And it's rust through. I have to have a hole through right here. This isn't considered rust through. That's been started long. Well, I bought this spreader in 2012. And like I say, it was within the 7 years that was happening. And it's just gotten worse over time. But yeah, no, that's not covered. So, but my slides are holding up good that I had made. 20, was it 20? Yeah, $25 for two of them made. So, that's the issue going on with this right now. And then, as far as I know, I can't find my coolant tester, which it should be fine. It was at least a 50-50 mix that I made. So it should be good for at least 30 below, which shouldn't need to worry about here. But I did confirm now that the thermostat must be opening fine because it didn't overheat. I got my gauge working. So I guess if anybody else wants to do the same, like I say, I had a piece coming down here that I had this bulb for this temperature gauge so I could slip up this way because I really didn't want this line poking this way. So that's why I figured, well, I put an elbow there, had a tube coming down long enough where I could screw that tube up in there. Yeah, it's not in the direct flow of the coolant, but it circulates through here, and you would think heat transfer would be enough. I mean, it would read up, like say if I was chopping and stuff, you know, really building some heat into it. But like I say, if I was just hauling manure like it was the other day, the temperature gauge never moved. So that's where I decided I'm going to try this different, where right now it goes right into here, which this is a thermostat housing, so I mean it's a lot closer. Well, it's actually going right into the tube would be right into this valve that goes down to feed the filter. So definitely have coolant flow past it now. And it was getting up, you know, the lines are so narrow and stuff to read exactly. It was going over 160 degrees. I think the thermostat was 170. But again, the thermostat's down here, so opening here. your, I was getting mixed up, but your warm goes in the bottom and the coolers come to the top, I guess. Either way, don't matter. It's well within operating range. All I need a temperature gauge to know if it's getting up over 200 degrees, overheating. But I'm confident enough now that the thermostat's open, the coolant has circulated all the way through this to really get mixed. Because when I dumped it in, I didn't shake up the jugs or anything. I just took a jug, dumped about half into another jug, filled it up, dumped them in. Because I knew it was going to take at least 5 gallons, and the last ones I had did mix up a little bit better, but the 1 gallon I did put in a little bit on the strong side. Just in case there's some water sitting in the block somewhere that it didn't dilute it down too much. I'd rather have it so good to 35 below than 25 below type deal, But, I didn't check where is it? Okay. I didn't see how much it went down. I mean, it should have gone down a little bit, but it's well within the range. I mean, the upper coolant hose is filled, so it's got coolant in it, should be mixed. Temperature gauge is working. I didn't really check that close here the other day. As far as I can tell, I think I got 95% of my oil leaks taken care of. Because I probably put 8 to 10 hours on this since I did the valve cover gasket and that other seal, or the mother seals. And usually within about 10 hours I would have oil at work. Yeah. It's a little bit wet there, but that's minor compared to what it was. That could be just, deformation in the flange of the valve cover, not sealing down enough. But I mean, within 10 hours here before, this would all be wet. It's continually going to be wet. I mean, nothing's going to be sealed up. But it's a lot better than what it was. So, probably what I should do is go out and move a couple bales of my hay that's sitting in the row out there. It's all wet. Get them moved in here so I can get more of that hay fed up before I have to start feeding this. Regardless, I can still get out there with the snow. I'll feed up as much of that as I can now. The only thing that'll stop me from feeding that is when it starts getting cold enough that the strings are frozen on the bales and I can't get them off. But right now, because that's why I don't care. They can waste all that hay they want there. I wanted to get that cleaned up a little bit more before I get another bale feeder. But like I say, there's one specific one I'm going to go get. It's a little bit more money than the one I can get at Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply has a fairly decent heavy one, heavy tubed. Well, I got one for up the other end, and I got that worked out where I'm only using a half of one. I think the problem I had here, why they bend up these damn bale feeders, some of these feeders here I've had for 20 years. Out in the pasture, no problems. As soon as I started putting them here in the barn, they bend the shit out of them. And I think what the problem is, I have it like tied over there so they can't move them around. And that's what I think. I don't think because they doesn't move with them that they bend them up, bust them up. So that's why down at that end of the barn, these were in 3 pieces. The one that I bought from Tractor Supply is a half moon, just 2 pieces. So I put that like in a corner here, which moved it in further, because these are 8 foot in diameter, I'm putting 4 foot bales in them, that they're pushing, trying to reach everything in the center. And that's why they keep reaching, can't reach it all, and they just keep busting things up. So I put that one down there. There's a half moon in the corner. And it still had enough room to put a bale in. And they can reach pretty much all of it. They're not pushing into it as much. Now this end of the barn, I don't have no place I can put it to make a half moon. And being bigger animals, I need a little more room. But I found a place that has a 6-foot bale feeder. And they look pretty damn heavy. And that's what I figured. If I put a 6-foot here, they'll be able to reach all the way across. They won't be pushing them around. I can tie it down. Everything will be good. The problem is they want over $500 for that. Now the one from Tractor Supply is $414. But if it's going to last for the next 10 years instead of them busting up in 2 years, I'm rather spend the $100 and getting a bale feeder so they're not wasting this. And it doesn't take long to pay for that $100. But I haven't got up there to get it yet. When I'm ready to, I'm not making a special trip just for that, unless I absolutely needed to. I ain't a desperate need at this point. So, but with that being said, I guess I'm gonna end this one here. Like I said, I ended up rambling too much again, but that's basically what the videos will be here if I'm making for the next couple weeks. I mean, ain't a whole hell of a lot gonna be doing. Unless, like I say, unless people like hearing me talk, I don't know. Well, plenty of channels I watch, all they do is stand around talking, give their opinions, so. But there's a couple guys when they hear my opinions, they give me a hard time about it, so. But not that I care. I'm entitled to my opinion, and you're entitled to your idiocy, so. That being said, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and we'll be back with the next one. Maybe I'll get a video of chopping bedding here one of these days. I gotta get some of that done. I gotta get stuff moved around. I gotta find a tire to put on this. I don't know if this tire will take air or not. Held air for a while. I mean, it's split. I'm surprised it held air like it did. But like I say, I gotta get some bedding chopped warm for this winter. Probably should look around and try selling that. I have to look up, see what they're worth. I know where there is a spreader. I don't know what the hell she wants for it. It's a little more than I want to pay right now, but she has a Knight 8018 like I used to have. I don't think they sold it yet. She sold some of the equipment off. But maybe I'll catch her one of these days. I'll find out. And that's another thing. It's possible they have a junk spreader down there. I know they used to have one. I know they've done some welding, homemade paddles to it and stuff too. But I don't know if it's something that they completely scrapped out or if it's out in the fence row somewhere. So that's why I got a hold of them to find that out. So it's possible maybe I'll get this spreader fixed here in the next month or so. If not, the beater's coming out. Just haul it off, dump it in a pile. Which is probably better. Let it sit there in a pile, compost down, and be better in the end maybe. But that's it. Thanks for watching.